The Summer Olympics start at the end of the month, and Team USA athletes are gearing up for competition in Paris. There's some great representation among athletes in the New York, New Jersey area, and one of those athletes is a talented rower who competed at the last Summer Games in Tokyo. Her name is Molly Reckford. She represents Short Hills, New Jersey, and she joins us now. Molly, how are you doing? How are you doing with the Summer Olympics right around the corner?
Oh, I'm so excited. I'm doing well. Thank you so much for having me. I am currently training in Italy, just north of Milan, with the whole Olympic team. And I'm so excited to be here. We've had wonderful weather, we've had wonderful training, and we're about a week and a half from actually heading over to Paris. And so things are very real and very exciting.
Yeah, things are getting real. The real competition coming up so quickly. I'm glad the training is going well just north of Milan in Italy. And Molly, you're well aware, rowing is a demanding sport for people who don't know. It requires immense dedication. So can you tell us about your roots in rowing and what sparked your love for the sport?
Absolutely. So I started rowing in high school. I went to Phillips Exeter Academy in New Hampshire, and I was very lucky that they offered a rowing team. So my freshman year, I joined the freshman crew. And I just very immediately fell completely in love with rowing. It's a sport where you get to be outdoors, especially in high school and college. A lot of the time you're rowing in boats with 8 other athletes. So it's a really great team sport. And since I graduated from college, I've specialized into sculling. And so I row with 2 oars with my partner, Michelle. She's my partner from Tokyo, and we're still together. And it's a slightly smaller boat, so it's a more intimate team experience. But I love getting out there on the water. I love working hard. You know, we train about 15 times a week. And so that's between rowing sessions, getting on the indoor rowing machine, going for runs, going for bike rides, and weightlifting. So we put in a lot of hours, but I really enjoy the work, and I really enjoy how hard work really pays off, and you get what you put in, and you also get to be outside and visit wonderful places like Milan and Paris and Tokyo, and so that's a little benefit.
Yeah, that is a benefit. That's a good one, getting to see the nice places throughout the world. And I was going to ask you about this because I'd say this, training for the Olympics has to be intense. You just said you guys train 15 times a week. That's a lot, folks. Can you walk us through a typical day of training and preparation for you and your team? And what are some of the key strategies and techniques that you focus on to enhance your performance in rowing?
So a typical day for me starts at about 5:30 in the morning. And I know some people think that's very early, and some people wake up at 4. So we get to our boathouse often around 6:30 after having a good breakfast with lots of carbohydrates. And that's when we start our warm-up. So stretching, any exercises, any sort of prehab, so pre-rehab, trying to do injury prevention. And then our first morning workout will be about 2 hours normally on the water. And so that's about 7:30 to 9:30 a.m. And I also work part-time. I'm very lucky. I have a job with Broadridge Financial Solutions, which has an office in Newark, New Jersey. And so I'll then work for a couple hours before heading off to either a lift or a yoga session or doing some core work. And then in the afternoon, we might row again for, another hour or hour and a half, or that's the time when if you want to go on a run or if you want to go on a bike ride, you sort of have that flexibility. So our days are very, very packed. It often feels like eat, row, sleep, repeat twice every day.
Yeah, that's what it sounded like to me. It sounded just like that. Eat, row, sleep, repeat. Sounds like a lot. Very packed days, Molly. Very, very packed days. But you said it's worth it in the end, so that's good for us. Now, Molly, look, making it to the Olympics is no easy feat, and I have to say congratulations to you because you're one of the best in the world at what you do. Can you share what your focus and your mindset is heading into these games in Paris coming up in a few weeks?
Oh, well, this is actually a really, really exciting games because I'm in a boat class called the lightweight women's double. And so it's 2 women who have a maximum weight. And they're actually taking our event out of the Olympics after this Olympic Games. And so this is the last chance. This is the last shot. And so that adds a certain amount of importance and gravity and excitement because this is probably the best our sport will ever be in our boat class. And so I'm really excited, and I am focusing on trying to do everything right. And So that's the big parts of training and all of the little things that sometimes actually end up being big things. So making sure I go to PT, making sure I get enough sleep, making sure I'm constantly working with our team dietitian. It's trying to make everything come together at the right moment and hope that that little bit of luck comes in to just push us across the line.
And so that adds so much with that part of the competition being taken out of the games and this being your second Olympic Games. I assume the goal here, obviously for everyone, is to get the gold. But do you have any specific goals that you or Team USA has set for yourself at this Summer Games? Is it making sure you go out on top in this event that you're doing? And what do you believe that you can accomplish this time around that you maybe weren't able to do in Tokyo?
I don't want to jinx anything, so I may be a little coy with this answer. I do have my eyes set on coming away with a new piece of hardware, and that's definitely one of my goals. That's something that we did not achieve in Tokyo. But as a team, actually, Team USA for the first time in I think 20 years in Tokyo did not come home with any medals. And so we as a team are aiming to get 3. And that's going to be a very big ask. You know, there's a lot of teams who are out there wanting to get 3 medals. There's a lot of teams out there. There's a lot of athletes out there who want to walk away with gold. But we have a new high performance director who we've all bought in on his system. We trust him. At the World Championships in between the Olympics, our team got 2 medals in 2022, and then I think we came back with 7 medals in 2023. And so we're definitely on the upswing as a team. And what I want to get out of this is to know that I couldn't have done anything else better. Or, you know, looking back, I want to say I did everything I absolutely could. And that wasn't necessarily how I felt after Tokyo. You know, I was very new to the sport when I made the Tokyo team. It was about 2 years after I had started rowing. And so I always felt a little overwhelmed, a little late to the game, a little slow. And this time around, having already experienced this, knowing how to train, knowing the systems that are in place, I feel like I'm much better set up to perform well at the games. And so I just want to make sure that I'm proud of what I do and make sure there was no stone left unturned. And a lot of that work is what we did over the last 2-3 years, not necessarily what we're going to do over the next 3 weeks.
And as you said, you guys have been trending in the right direction over the last 2 to 3 years. And I understood you didn't want to say gold medal there. You're trying to be a little bit coy, but new hardware. I like what you did there, Molly. That was a good way of putting it. We need some new hardware for you in this competition. Last thing for me, as an athlete from the New York, New Jersey area, how does it feel to represent this region on a global stage? And how has your community supported you throughout your journey as a rower?
Oh, I am so proud to be representing the New York, New Jersey area. As somebody who I was born and raised in Short Hills, New Jersey, everybody in my town remembers me not necessarily as the Olympian, but maybe as the 3rd grader who was in their class or as the babysitter. My community and my town and my church have all been so amazingly supportive of me, and it sometimes gives me goosebumps when my kindergarten teacher reached out to me before I went to Tokyo and said, "Hey, I just saw that you did this. I remember you, and I'm so proud of you." And I didn't believe that my kindergarten teacher would remember me. But my town has been wonderful. My parents are very sweet, and they put out a Team USA banner outside of our house, and I know that the town is behind me in rallying, and I even know that some of my neighbors will be at the games, and so that's very exciting for me. And I feel like I'm in good company. There have been many truly amazing Olympians on the U.S. soccer team, on the track team, and so I feel like I'm following in the footsteps of some pretty amazing athletes to be representing our area.
No doubt about that. To be representing the New York, New Jersey area, representing Short Hills, and having that community behind you at the 2024 Summer Games in Paris. That is Molly Reckford, great rower for Team USA. She won't say it, but I will say it. She's going for the goal. We are all rooting for you, Molly. I appreciate the time that you took to talk to me from Italy as you're doing training, and good luck in the games. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for having me.